Hello, everybody. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Thursday. Why is my camera not? Oh, there I am. Hello, everybody. Hang on one second. Let me get my screen. Hello. I hope you guys are all ready for today's session. We are now live. Hopefully you guys can hear me. We do start off our webinars with music, so hopefully you guys can hear. If you're having some problems, make sure your speakers are unmuted. There is no telephone dial-in for today's event. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Leah Hartman. If you're new here, I am a principal professional services consultant here at Intuit. Been with the company for almost 12 years and currently residing in Tucson, Arizona, my hometown, and still kind of hot. So hoping it cools down soon. Fingers crossed. Enough about me, though. Let's get into today's content. We have a ton of stuff to cover today, and I'm super excited to have all my guests with me and discussing all the cool things that we want to share with you this month. So, couple housekeeping items, and then we'll get on our way. First things first, navigating our webinar platform. Please be sure to ask your questions in the Q&A section of the Zoom platform. You can find our handouts at www.intuit.me/ITK handout -NOV23. I know a couple of people have already asked for it, and you should be able to find it in the Q&A as well. As for our agenda, same as always, we're going to welcome everybody in. We'll talk a little bit about some CPE credit eligibility information. We'll talk about our objectives super quick, and then we'll go through each presenter and do a little bit of Q&A, and then we'll end with your resources and close out the webinar. It is only 60 minutes today, which is usually the case for these sessions. So really quickly, for questions and feedback, just a couple things. As I just mentioned, please use Q&A. We do not have the chat button enabled, so please try not to go in there. It won't work. We ask that you only submit questions that are related to today's content. We know that there's a ton of you, and if you're running into any technical issues, we have our technical support phone number down here at the bottom, but there's only a few of us, and we can answer questions as fast as we possibly can. We're going to try to get to all of them today, but we will do our very best. That doesn't always happen. And then questions that we don't answer should be addressed in the FAQ that is available to you. And if you are having technical related issues with the product, meaning it is not working as designed or you're running into errors, please contact our support line at 888-333-3451. You should find that on slide number 6 of your handout. Okay, CPE process. This is pretty straightforward. If you've been around, you must be present for a minimum of 50 minutes in order to get 1 CPE credit. Please be sure to answer all polling questions. So from a verbal cue perspective, we will say there's a polling question and you'll have about a minute to answer the question. So please be ready to answer those. We will close them out about 60 seconds after we've launched it. So please be sure that you're on top of that so you get those questions answered. If all or part of the requirements have been met, you will be sent a CPE email within 2 weeks following the close of today's webinar. So 2 weeks from today. And it's coming from accountant_training@intuit.com to your approved contacts. That's where you registered the email from. I'm sorry, the email you registered to come today. That's where we're going to send it. Again, we will be prompting verbally. There's a polling question. Please be sure to get that question answered within about 60 seconds because that's when we usually close them out. All right, lots of cool stuff that we want to talk about today. The first thing we're going to start with is learning about custom roles in QuickBooks Online Advanced. So we'll talk a little bit about some of those updates that we've made in those custom user roles. And then we're going to jump into the newly recast ProAdvisor program and learn about all the new things that we're doing to this ProAdvisor program, what the new program is going to look like, all that good stuff. And then we're going to end with more about QuickBooks Ledger, which if you're at QuickBooks Connect, attended QuickBooks Connect, we just announced this yesterday, I believe, or today. But we did announce that at our QBC. And if you are there, I hope you guys are having fun. Otherwise, those are our objectives, and then we'll close out. Once again, if you're looking for the handout, it's www.intuit.me/ITK handout -NOV23. Yep. Awesome. Last but certainly not least, before we get into our first presenter, I just have one thing I want to share with you guys today, and that is we have a boot camp coming up. So December 5th through the 7th, 2023 this year. So in a few weeks, we are doing a boot camp, which is a free 3-day virtual conference designed to teach you about the products and to prepare you with everything you need to know and help you prepare with QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Online Advanced, and QuickBooks Payroll Certification exams. If you are interested in joining those free virtual conferences, please be sure to register at the link provided on this this handout, this slideshow. You get up to 14 free CPE credits if you need them, which is super great. I used to actually help answer questions in those virtual conferences. I think they're really educational, super informational. And so if you guys need those, we have those available. And our next one will be December 5th through the 7th. Awesome. So enough about me. Let's go ahead and jump into the content. The first person I have is Yogender, who's going to be all the way from India, who's going to talk to us about custom user roles in QuickBooks Online Advanced. So Yogender, whenever you're ready, please feel free to introduce yourself and take over the screen share, and it's all yours.
Yeah, thank you. Let me just pull up my screen and then I'll start. Yeah, I hope you all can see my screen.
Yep, we sure can.
Yeah. Hey folks, nice to meet all of you. This is my first time in the webinar. So quick introduction about me. I'm Yogender. I work as a product manager on QuickBooks Online. I primarily work on roles and permissions and been with Intuit now for about like 3 years. Right. So today I'm really excited to talk about the new enhancements we are bringing to the custom roles feature in QuickBooks Online. I know a lot of you have also asked about it and we have heard a lot. So today I'm really excited to talk about what we are launching new. So, but before we go into the demos, I would like to know with a quick poll, have you or your clients used the custom roles feature in QuickBooks Online Advanced yet? You can choose from, even if you have not heard about it, you can let us know about that. If you have heard about it, but not used, that's also something you can let us know. If you have already tried it a few times or you have a power user for the same feature, please do let us know about that as well. I think we have like about a minute for the poll.
Yeah, so we got about 20 seconds left, guys. So once again, we have our first poll of the session. Please be sure to jump in and answer it. We do have kind of across the board some different answers here. I'm curious, are you hoping to see one of these answers come at the top, or maybe a couple different answers? What are your expectations of asking this question?
Yeah, I think we would just like to know how aware our partners are about custom roles itself, because it's a key feature, at least for the mid-market customers. So we'd like to really know about.
Yeah, so looks like I've not used, but I've heard of it, is a large majority of the folks on today's call. So great, we can talk more about it and see if it's of interest to anybody.
Yeah, I think this is really useful because you can also get to know about custom roles a bit further in this demo and also what we are launching new about it. So let me go into what's the new enhancements that we are launching. So before we go into like the demo and talk about the exact features screen by screen, I would first like to explain our approach on how we have, thought about the new enhancements to custom roles. So we heard a lot from our customers, your clients, and also several accountants and QSPs that custom roles or roles and permissions in general in QuickBooks Online, there's not a lot of flexibility in how you can control or assign permissions. So that is what we were primarily looking to tackle. Some of the key problems we heard you all mentioned is the need to control access to different transactions and features within QuickBooks without giving access to wider areas of the books. We also heard that you need the ability to control what a user can do with these transactions, like can they only view it versus can they delete or edit the transactions. So that's exactly what we have built. we have built the ability to restrict a user's access to 15 different transactions. So you can choose what transactions a user needs to actually access. You can also choose to restrict access to the bank feeds, the reconciliation registers, and also chart of accounts, right? And along with these, you can set access levels in the sense that you can determine whether a user should only have view-only access to the different transactions like invoices, bills, journal entries, purchase orders, 15 different types of them, and also the different chart of accounts and lists as well. So that's what we have primarily built with custom access control. The other problem we also heard more from a compliance perspective and fraud prevention is segregation of duties in accounts payable. Firms need to be able to control or separate rather who records bills versus who approves and who pays the bills online. So we have built these exact controls. So now you can define who is going to be the person approving the bills and who is going to be paying the bills and who is recording the bills. So you can separate out these tasks and not have one single person, do all these, which increases the chances of AP fraud. We also have 3 roles as part of the QuickBooks bill pay attachment, which are bill clerk, bill approver, and bill payer. So all of these custom controls are available on QuickBooks Online Advanced. For those using QuickBooks Plus and Essentials, the 3 roles, bill clerk, bill approver, and bill payer, are also available in Plus and Essentials, provided you also subscribe to QuickBooks Bill Pay Elite, right? So once you subscribe to that, some additional roles are unlocked for Plus and Essentials as well. So when is this available? So some of these are already available in QuickBooks Advanced in the US since August. All of the features that I'm going to talk about today will be available to all users in the US in QuickBooks Advanced by Feb 2024. And you can access this feature from the Manage Users page in the QuickBooks settings menu, which is on the top right. I'll just show it to you in the demo as well. So moving on, I'll just jump into demo for now. So I actually have a live demo, so I'll probably just do that. Yeah, all right. So for the purpose of this demo, let's take the example of Todd's Construction. So Todd's Construction is a mid-market business, and Todd is the owner of the business. So as business grows, Todd needs additional help with bookkeeping. So Todd onboards Ben, who is a junior bookkeeper, to assist the accounting team with some data entry and bookkeeping tasks. But none of the roles that are already available, the preset roles that are available in QuickBooks Online, meet Todd's requirements because they would end up giving more access to Ben than Todd is comfortable at right at this stage, right? So Todd uses QuickBooks Advanced, and Todd decides to use the custom roles feature. So Todd goes to add a new custom role and curate it the exact way that Todd wants, so that Ben can only do and see things that Todd approves of, right? So Todd gives this role a name called the assistant bookkeeper and also gives it a relevant description. Next, Todd can choose which features of QuickBooks should this role actually have access to. So Todd starts first with the different expense transaction, like bills, expenses, checks, purchase orders, and vendor credits, and chooses to give access to the different expense transactions. Here, Todd can also choose to limit access based on whether it's view, create, edit, or delete. For the purpose of Ben, Todd does not want Ben to be approving the bills because that's probably something he would want someone senior to be doing. Todd also doesn't want Ben to have the ability to pay bills online and move money from the bank accounts or cards. So he removes access to these 2 permissions while giving access to, like, create, edit, delete some of the expense transactions for now. Next, Todd opens the sales module and chooses to give access to all the sales transactions like invoices, estimates, sales receipts as well. Moving on, Todd goes to the customer and vendor lists. Todd does not want Ben to be like adding new customers or deleting or editing their details. So he chooses to just give view only access to the customers and vendors. Then Todd does not really want Ben to be getting access to the bank feeds or recording transfers or bank deposits just about now. So he chooses not to give access to it. But if he ever wanted, he does have the ability to do that with the new enhancements to custom poles. Finally, Todd goes into the accounting module and sees that he can give access to journal entries and reconciliation. But Todd really does not want Ben to be doing all this at this stage until Ben gains more experience in the company and with the books. So he just gives view only access to the chart of accounts and also the ability to view journal entries without modifying or recording them. So that's about it. Todd looks at all the different access that this role of assistant bookkeeper gives. Satisfied, Todd now saves this role and now is prompted to invite Ben to the company. So Todd can just enter Ben's name and email and hit the add user button, and you can see that an invite has been sent. Ben can accept this invite and log into QuickBooks, and they'll only be able to see and do things that the role permits them to do. So this is the end of the demo. But with these new access controls for QuickBooks, all business owners and accountants can have peace of mind knowing that the financial data is protected and it's only accessible to those who need it, while they are able to delegate regular tasks, and they can also implement effective segregation of duties to prevent any fraud in future. Coming back, while we looked at what the business owners and admins can do, we have also curated the experience for users with the limited roles. So when a user with limited access actually logs in, let's say they have view-only permission, they get to see a read-only version of the transaction where all the fields are read-only and they cannot edit. They also will not be able to see buttons that they're not supposed to perform actions on. Like if a user does not have delete access, they will not see the delete button, right? We are also securing the data. So even if someone tries to search for, let's say, invoices without actually having access to invoices, the search will not return that in the results. So we have protected it at the data level as well. And we're also looking at curating the navigation menu and the entire experience based on what the user can actually have access to. And this is where I would actually like to ask some opinions from you folks with the second polling question. So how would you prefer that the left navigation menu is displayed for a user with limited access? So let's say the user has only access to few permitted features. How would you want the left nav to actually be curated? You can see the left nav on your right in the screen. Would you prefer that the user only sees the permitted items while the rest of them are hidden? Or do you think it's better to show the permitted features, but also gray out the non-permitted items so that they are at least aware what else is available? Or do you think we show the permitted features in the menu, but find out a way to also hide and show the non-permitted items in a separate section? Or if you have completely different opinions, you can select the fourth option.
I'd be really curious to see what the majority audience is looking for. I think for me personally, I would only want to see what I'm allowed to have access to, but I think that's just a me preference. What about you?
Yeah, I think this is something we are taking a really big design decision on. Trying to get as much opinion as possible. So this input will be really helpful. We have heard multiple opinions here.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it could go either way on all of these. And it does look like we've got two runner-ups, which is showing only permitted features and gray out non-permitted features. So a lot to think about there. Yeah.
I think this helps because we have also been trying to toggle between 1 and 2 here. Thank you. Yeah. I have one last poll if there's time. So right now I've talked about bringing custom access controls to transactions, accounting. We're also working on bringing access control to reports. But beyond these features, which other feature or area of QuickBooks do you think is the most important use case for access control? Would it be building controls within the payroll features or inventory or projects? Or should we be focusing more on restricting users' access based on specific data, like specific class, or restricting someone to specific set of customer data or specific bank account data? So choose one option which you feel is the most important beyond what we have already talked about.
Yogender, just based on the questions that I've been seeing in the chat, I have a good feeling about this one and the majority of what folks are going to pick. And so I think in a perfect world, right, we would have all of them fixed and done by today. But prioritizing, guys, that doesn't mean it's one and not all the others. It's what's next, right?
Exactly. Yeah. We'll definitely look at working on all of these, but we want to know what's the most important.
Yeah, I had a feeling payroll, everyone wants the payroll, which I totally understand.
All right. Yeah. So thanks a lot for your inputs. With this, I come to the end of this segment on custom roles. I hope you found the demo useful, and we'll try to answer as many questions as possible. Now I'll hand it over to Jim for the next segment. Thank you.
Yes, before we do that, Yogender, I just wanted to say thank you so much for spending time with us today. There is an opportunity to just ask one or two questions live really quickly. So we already got the payroll one out of the way, but I have seen a lot of folks asking questions about user access control from a location perspective. Is that possibly on the roadmap? Are you guys looking into that at all by chance? Do you know?
Yes, so that's also on the roadmap. It is nascently available today as well. You can only restrict access to sales transaction by location. But like we see in the screen now with option 4, when you're trying to restrict by class, we're also looking at restricting by location.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Yogender. I really appreciate the time that you spent, and oh my gosh, it's super late for you. So again, thank you for being here. And if you have an opportunity to answer questions we may have missed, that would be wonderful. But we're going to go ahead and move on to Jim now. Thank you again. And Jim, whenever you're ready, you can introduce yourself, and we're going to head on to the next presenter.
All righty. Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab the screen share here.
You're good.
All right. My name is Jim Zunza. I'm a senior program manager for the Pro Advisor team. Super excited to share with you all the first iteration of the reimagination of the Pro Advisor program. But before we get started, I want to ask you all a question here. Do you see the Pro Advisor program as an essential tool for your growth and professional development? And while you're answering, I want to give another shout out to Yogender for being here in the middle of the night. That's some dedication right there. Thank you.
Heck yeah.
And then for those of you that were at QuickBooks Connect, somehow I'm both really energized and also really exhausted. It was a great event, super fun. Thanks for all of you who were there.
Just as a friendly reminder, folks, we do have an open poll question. So if you need to get that CPE, please be sure to answer it. We will be closing it in about 20 seconds. I'm super sad I missed QBC this year, but I heard it's been very awesome. I see all my coworkers posting about it. So if you all have gone, super jealous and excited for you. I would only hope that the answer to this question would be a majority of yes, but I can also understand folks that might not think that. But it does look like we do have a pretty astounding yes. They do find it an essential tool for growth. So that's good, right, Jim?
Yeah, no, that's great. I think, those of you who are yes, I'm excited to share that, we're really going to be investing in the program starting now and moving forward. It's the start of a new era and new investment. And for those that are no and maybe, hopefully we'll be able to turn you around with some of the changes. So let's first dive into the approach here. So, we have our surveys that we've launched. We had hundreds of conversations with accountants, focus groups, And really what we heard is that, the average firm size engaged with our program, and looking at our internal data, that average size of the firm that's engaged with our program has grown. The program does not challenge or motivate accounting firms or professionals. And then being a pro advisor has lost some meaning over the years. And so what we've done is we partnered with the community to understand, like, what would truly add some value. How can we make it a bit more challenging or motivating to move through the tiers? And so for value, we added 20 plus new benefits or changes to existing benefits. We've increased our durability and a sense of exclusivity by adding new tier thresholds, and then new point earning opportunities. We've up-leveled recognition, so we'll talk about some new badges. We'll be rolling out more events and contests as well. And then, as I've mentioned, this is just the beginning. We're planning on continued iteration and investment in this program. It's going to launch on November 20th. So, this is our announcement. There are a few Firm of the Future knowledge articles out there already, so feel free to check those out. You'll see at the bottom that those articles are linked in your handout for all of the details. We have a short amount of time today, so I'm going to touch on the highlights, but those go through a lot of detail. So quickly here on the from to for tier thresholds and points, trying to make it a little more challenging to progress through those tiers to add that renewed exclusivity. And then we're adding point activities for payments, bill pay, and ledger skew, which is going to get talked about a little bit later today. And then for tier differentiation, if you look at the program today, there's not much differentiation between tiers. You're not really gaining much as you move through those tiers, and we really wanted to make a big effort to change that and add new key benefits for every tier. As I mentioned, 20 plus changes we'll talk through, and a plan for continued iteration, and then continued recognition. I feel like our recognition has been at some key points throughout every year, but we want to make sure that it's happening much more regularly to our most important partners, accounting professionals. All right, so starting with the marketing benefits, we'll talk about badges in the next section, but we've updated our badges. And then for Gold Plus, we are adding new email templates. So we'll have product-specific email templates to help you with communicating to your clients about our products, and then client engagement email templates, really talking about your firm value. They're all editable, and you're able to leverage them. They're Word documents, so if you're not on MailChimp, you can use them, but they're also going to be preloaded in MailChimp if you are a MailChimp user, so that you can leverage these templates to message to your customers. Another big change called out here is for the Find a Pro directory listing. So for Find a Pro, we are changing the requirements for how you can post or how you can be a member or post your listing on Find a Pro. Now, you not only have to be certified on QBO, but you also have to be gold or above in order to post your listing. Platinum, new benefits are coming soon. As I mentioned, continued iteration in this year as well as moving forward. So we'll be adding some new benefits shortly on that one. And then for Elite, firm growth consultation. So being able to schedule time with a growth consultant directly in the product, you'll be able to build that one-on-one relationship with somebody who's going to help you grow your business. Okay, benefits and badges. Sorry, hold on one second. Okay, badges, our certification badges and tier badges, we've changed the design and made them a little bit more impactful. And then we've added 3 new badges here. So if you're an accountant council member, you'll have an accountant council badge. We've added knowledge badges. So there are specific new courses within the training environment. And when you complete those, these we're starting with banking and reporting. The plan is to expand these, but once you complete those, you'll get your banking and reporting knowledge badge. And then for trainer badges, those are those members that are helping us write content. For those that are part of that group, we'll be giving you trainer badges as well. For special benefits and promotions, the first one, so applicable to all pro advisors, is our new accountant approved third-party apps. And these are vertical specific accountant backed app recommendations. We had a committee of accountants, pulled them together had them validate that the data flows in properly, the data flows out properly, and they work really well with QuickBooks. We're starting with the construction vertical on this one and plan to expand across all verticals and then also into horizontal apps as well. For Elite Pro Advisors here, special events and discounts. That's where we're going to have sweepstakes, contests, new incentives, special events that will happen. And this is something we're looking to change and put in place quarterly. So look out for those if you're an Elite Pro Advisor. And then product support. So big change here. We are extending premium phone support and chat support to gold and above. So previously this was just for platinum and above, but we feel it's table stakes to have that top level of care. And so we're extending that to gold. Discounts for your firm. Big one here up top is our increase in the MailChimp discount. So we're moving from 15% discount off of MailChimp to a 75% for the first year. So really excited about that. That's available to all pro advisors. Previously, that was a gold and above benefit. Now it's available to all. And then the other two changes here are Intuit Tax Advisor and ProConnect Tax Online. We have scaling discounts as you move up through the tiers on our two tax products there for you. And then for training, rolling out tax product training as well, ProConnect Tax Online, and then also Intuit Tax Advisor is coming soon. And then third-party apps training as well. We're looking to expand that considerably over the next few months. And we are missing a slide here. So on the fly, give me one moment. I just want to share what the new tier thresholds are going to be. Give me one moment here, people. Okay, so for tier thresholds, silver is moving from 200 points to 400 points. Gold is moving Gold is moving from 200 points to 500 points. Platinum is moving from 800 points to 2,400 points. And Elite is moving from 1,600 to 7,000. I'm going to switch screen share just so you can see. This is not apples to apples. Because we have our new point activities, as you'll see here, your points will be retroactively updated based on these new point activities for payroll certification, increase from 100 to 200, for 75 points for QuickBooks payments subscriptions for your clients, QuickBooks bill pay subscriptions. We have ranging points based on the SKU, and then 25 points for ledger SKU per client that is attached. So on the 20th, your point total will increase. And then there's a 90-day grace period for any potential tier movement. So if you don't have that 7,000 points, if you're currently Elite, once we've added all of the new point activities, there's still 90 days for you to experience the Elite benefits and work your way up to stay in that tier. All right, let me jump back. Are you all still able to see the presentation?
Yep, sure can.
All right, cool. All right, so as I mentioned, this is just the beginning. We've only scratched the surface. We're laying the foundation and want to continue to build in partnership with you. So we will continue to launch new benefits, incentives, and point earning opportunities so that together we can help power the prosperity for our shared clients. We want your input. So within the handout that you have, there is a link to provide feedback. Please go in there. Please provide your feedback. We're looking to do a very quick, fast follow within the next 90 days and then continue to launch bigger iterations in the future. Okay. Q&A.
Ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot of changes coming, Jim. I'm excited to see how this comes to fruition. We do actually have a lot of questions that I just want to make sure that we're all very clear on. I got a lot of folks asking questions around when will this become live for folks to start looking at, utilizing. So can you just remind us when this launch is going to happen?
Yeah, so the launch is on November 20th, so next Monday. So all of those new benefits will be available on that date. The new point activities will give you your new point total. And then there's a 90-day grace period starting at that point for any potential downward tier movement with the new thresholds.
So with the launch coming on Monday, does that mean that folks will have access to their new badges and all that good stuff?
That's right.
Awesome. So folks that were asking about badges, where can I get those badges? When can I get those badges? Monday in QuickBooks Online Accountant through your Pro Advisor tab. Can you also just kind of reiterate a little bit about the Pro Advisor profile and what will happen to those that are going to be under the gold level? Can you just kind of talk a little bit more about that? I had a lot of questions asked around, like, does that mean I'm not going to be on there anymore if I'm silver?
So as I mentioned, there's that 90-day grace period, right? So all of those that, may be moving down from gold to silver, that point total for gold, you can get there by just passing the certifications. So if you pass online advanced and payroll certification, you have enough points to keep your gold status, and that will keep your profile up. And there's 90 days to go ahead and do that in order to have enough points to stay in gold.
Perfect. So if you do, due to the points restructure, if you do get pushed back down to silver, or not back down, but if you get pushed down to silver, you have a 90-day period to get back to gold, and the easiest way to do that would be to certify.
That's right.
Okay. So yes, for those that were asking, if you do become a silver, you will no longer have your Pro Advisor profile available, but you can get back there or back up to that gold process or that gold tier so that you get to keep it. There's a 90-day grace period. So, okay. Age-old question, are these benefits in Canada?
So some of them are going to be in Canada, namely MailChimp. So the MailChimp discount in Canada will be increasing just like it is here. Some of the other benefits, or most of the other benefits, are not going to be there in Canada. There are some new changes that they're rolling out as well, but this is very US focused for this announcement.
Okay, perfect. And so when do they take effect? Are they in Canada? What's the difference between accountant phone support for silver versus premium support for gold? Do you know what those differences would be?
So the base accountant support that we have is still our accountant support team. Our top level accountant support team is our premium support. So those agents have more experience, and then also gives you the ability to schedule a callback. So those would be the two differences. More experienced representatives, and then the schedule a call feature.
Perfect. I also had somebody ask about MailChimp. So I did have someone ask, what is MailChimp? And then someone else had asked, I already have a MailChimp account. Does the discount only apply to new accounts?
The discount does not apply only to new. So you are able to go, if you go through the flow to click through to get the discount, you may have to contact customer support to actually get them to transfer your current account to the discount. So I would recommend calling the MailChimp customer support, letting them know that you are a Pro Advisor and that you want access to that discount. In terms of what is MailChimp, MailChimp is our marketing software. So I'm not super knowledgeable on MailChimp, so I'm probably going to butcher this, but it enables you to build out marketing campaigns, leveraging social, email. It's a powerful tool to help you communicate with customers and prospects.
Yes, I think you nailed it, Jim. You did a great job. Yes, MailChimp is a marketing software program for businesses. And then, so for those that are asking, how will I know if I qualify? When the new program launches on Monday, I'm assuming that the new point structure will also show on their Pro Advisor profile. Am I understanding that correctly? Okay. Yeah. So if if you're curious, where do I land? You're going to go to your ProAdvisor profile on Monday. That's going to be in your QuickBooks Online Accountant dashboard. There'll be an option for ProAdvisor on the left-hand navigation bar. You'll be able to see your point structure in there. Someone was asking, did we discuss or talk about why points were being taken away or moved around? Did we talk about that a little bit, or is it just like how we restructured, Jim?
Yeah, so no points are taken away, right? So we're adding additional point activities, point earning opportunities. So what you look at today, there's the 200 point piece, but if you have any active payments clients, any active bill pay clients, or if you sign up people on bill pay or ledger, your point totals are going to increase. So really the big one is going to be payments, right? That's an existing product. If you have people on that, on QuickBooks Payments, then your point total is going to go up. The reason why we adjusted the thresholds is because we saw that there were people, or the feedback that we got from people was that I'm Elite Pro Advisor 7 times over. I don't engage with the program anymore. It doesn't really give me anything to aspire to get to. And thus, you know, it doesn't have as much meaning. So we're trying to bring more meaning back to what those tier statuses mean and increase, you know, make it more challenging to progress through them, to make it more motivating for a longer period of time, more durable program.
Completely understand that, Jim, and thank you again so much. We do have to move on to our next presenter. If you have an opportunity to stick around in the back and answer questions we may have missed, that would be wonderful. For those that are on the call, the audience, we do have that feedback form for the new ProAdvisor program, so please be sure to put your feedback in there in the handout so that we can hear what you guys have to think and say about the new program. But Jim, thank you so much for being on. Super, super helpful information, and I'm excited to see what we get on Monday.
Awesome.
All right, our last presenter of today, we have Crystal George presenting with us, and I'm super excited for Crystal to talk about the announcement from QuickBooks Connect, which is QB Ledger. So Crystal, it's all yours whenever you're ready.
Awesome. Thank you, Leah. I am very excited to be talking about this one today. And as an advanced certified pro advisor, I'm also super excited for Monday to check out all my new pro advisor benefits as well. So hey everybody, quick little intro. Crystal George. I'm a senior sales product specialist here at Intuit, working with our QuickBooks accountant sales teams. I've been with Intuit around 17-ish years, and I'm just up the road from Leah in Phoenix. I know I saw a couple people in the Phoenix area shouting out in the chat when we started, so good to have some folks on here from there. So I'm going to be telling you guys about a brand new product offering that we did just announce, and it is live, available today. You should be able to go into your QuickBooks Online Accountant account right now if you are in the US, and it should be already showing up in there for you. We will be having a global release following soon. So for those of you not in the US, we have not forgotten about you. There will be a rollout for you as well. But really what we heard was we needed a solution in QuickBooks Online for those clients who maybe you just deal with at the year end, do some tax return prep, or they're just very low transaction, low complexity type clients. And all of our current QuickBooks Online offerings were maybe a little too robust for their needs at the moment. And you're either maintaining those clients, you know, in Excel or paper statements, good old shoebox, you know, clients. Maybe you're using Desktop Accountant for those clients still, just because of the simplicity. And so you're having to maintain, you know, all these different solutions in order to service all your clients. So we have a brand new product called QuickBooks Ledger that is part of our QuickBooks Online lineup, and it is designed exclusively for accounting professionals to help service these particular clients. It'll be able to do kind of all the core things that you would need to be able to do for these clients, and we're going to dive into that a little bit more. So I'm not going to go over everything on here, but it is available through QuickBooks Online Accountant. You can add those clients yourself, like I said, starting today. Or if you're looking for maybe an opportunity to move a large number of clients after you learn more about this, our sales teams can help you with, you know, bigger opportunities where you maybe need to do a bulk order or something like that as well. So let me break down a little bit more detail for you guys on what exactly this is going to look like. So it is, like I said, designed exclusively for our accounting professionals. Your clients will not be able to purchase this product from our website, from their own product, or even by calling into the sales channels here at Intuit. You are the only ones who have access to this particular product. So a couple of key things about it: you'll still be able to now use your QuickBooks Online Accountant to manage workflows for all of your clients, whether you have Ledger or maybe you have clients who need that advanced version, like we learned about the user permissions earlier. All of that one place to manage them. It will support up to 2 accountant users, just like our other products. And so maybe, you're the bookkeeper and your clients have a CPA that still needs access. You'll be able to still set up those multiple accounting firm relationships. We do also still provide that optional client access through that primary admin. So you'll still have the choice when you set up the client, if you're going to take over the primary admin and not have the client have access, or do you want that client to have access? Maybe you want to involve the client in part of the process, whether that's connecting their bank feeds or reviewing transactions, or even just so that they can come in and see how their business is doing. Maybe make it easier for you to do some advisory services and things like that. You'll be able to upgrade directly from Ledger to the other SKUs. So as your clients' businesses are growing and you maybe now need to start, running invoices and taking payments, or, having other capabilities, you'll be able to easily move them up into the QuickBooks Online subscription that's right for them at that time. We will also be able to attach some of the additional services we have. So payroll and time or contractors payments are all available. So it's going to be great if you've got maybe like a small S Corp client that has very basic payroll needs and, is low complexity. The ability to attach payroll is going to be a really great option for them. And it still connects to other tools that you may be using in your tech stack. So if you have certain app connections that you want to use, they will be supported with Ledger. Do keep in mind when we talk about some of the functionality differences in a moment, some apps may not work simply because of how they send the data over, because those features won't be available, but there are no restrictions from our side as to which apps can connect. It's really going to be all about what functionality and how the information comes over to the Ledger. It is available at an everyday low price through QuickBooks Online Accountant for $10 per month per subscription. And this is going to be a firm build. So you're going to be the ones taking on billing for this and be able to then build that price of that $10 a month into your service offerings, however makes sense for your firm needs. So that's kind of an overview of it. These are just some examples of use cases if you're starting to try to think about, like, who might I want to go start using this particular product with, start to get your hands on it. Definitely if you've got any in-house bookkeeping clients where you're doing just, basic write-up, maybe you're getting those financial statements in and just sort of doing the data entry in-house for them, this is going to be perfect for them. We're almost at the end of the year, right? So we're going to start getting those tax-only year-end clients who need 1099s, or they just need everything caught up so that they can get the taxes prepared. And then we also have some situations where maybe you have some multi-company clients who've been, hesitant to move online because they've got some very simple non-operating entities or holding companies like real estate, where the transactions are not complex or, low volume. And so now they can get multiple subscriptions of QuickBooks Ledger and be able to manage each of those holding companies through this offering as well. So those are just some examples to hopefully get the wheels turning for you guys on who this might be a good fit for you to go think about moving online. So you might be thinking, well, what's the difference between this and, Simple Start or one of the higher SKUs? So we do have just a high level comparison chart here for you on QuickBooks Ledger versus Simple Start. Again, I'm not going to go through all of them for you guys because you have the handouts, but I want to call out a couple of the key differentiators here. Both products will be able to do really all of the bank feed automation that makes QuickBooks Online so great. So you'll still be able to connect all the bank accounts and credit cards, bring those transactions in either through the connection or upload, manually. If you have an Excel statement, CSV file from the bank, you'll be able to support all of those types of workflows, use your rules, do your bank reconciliation, and then also be able to produce the key financial reports, which we'll look at a bit more. You can, like I said, decide if you want your clients to have access to be able to do some of those activities and collaborate with you. And then, of course, it's going to have integration into our tax filing tools, so help you get ready for tax time easily. You'll be able to convert and import data. So if you have clients in desktop you want to move over, you'll be able to use all the same migration options that we currently offer. So some things you won't be able to do with the ledger SKU, or Simple Start might be a good fit, is really going to be the things around client operations. So if they want to be able to invoice their customers, accept payments, we want to pay bills, and really just do that kind of day-to-day transaction work, those clients are going to be better suited for Simple Start or higher level of QuickBooks Online. So this product really is focused on, that true kind of general ledger bank transaction type customer that you might be working with. So I'm going to break each of these down for you guys in a minute here, but just to give you kind of a high level, this is sort of the 5-step process that you would imagine. This is where the ledger SKU is going to really help you optimize your efficiency. You'll still be able to handle your chart of accounts and set everything up the way you want it to, bring in those bank transactions through various means, track and file your 1099s at the end of the year, review your financial reports, and of course still be able to use the tools to help prepare for tax filing. So I'm going to break these down for you guys a little bit more. So first and foremost, like I said, you guys can add this through QuickBooks Online for accountants. And you're going to see this option. Like I said, this went live already this morning. So, if you're not seeing it, maybe log out and log back in. But you should now see a new selection when you choose Bill My Firm. You will have this new $10 a month ledger SKU option to select from during your setup. And then of course, all of your other things like payroll and contractor payments, if you want to add those on, you can do that at that time as well. Once you've set up the client, first step, right, we're going to need a chart of accounts. You can still use sort of the default chart of accounts that QuickBooks Online, starts to pre-populate once you do your setup in QuickBooks Online, or you can take advantage of our new chart of account templates feature. So if you haven't checked that out, I know we covered that in the know pretty recently as well. So you can either create a new chart of account templates, upload from Excel if you have templates that you already have made, and apply those templates to these ledger clients. And then you're really going to get into the heart of the product, which is going to be bringing in all of those transactions, right? So connecting bank accounts, either the client can come in and do that, or if you have maybe accountant credentials already set up for your client's bank accounts, you can connect their accounts for them. If you have banks where maybe they don't connect for some reason or another, you'll still be able to import in those CSV files into the bank transactions. And then use the rules and all of the bulk, update functionality of the bank feeds in order to be able to, get those transactions entered in, to, however that is going to help automate things for your business. We do also support journal entries, so you'll be able to create journal entries. There are apps out there if you want to be able to import in journal entries, but the journal entry transactions will be one of the transaction types you'll still be able to do. And then, of course, because this is designed for those year-end clients, we know that a lot of you are preparing 1099s for your clients. So you'll still be able to manage vendor contractor information, map all the transactions to the vendors so that you can, easily file those 1099s. You can do that directly through Ledger, just like all of our other QuickBooks Online products, or use your favorite 1099, filing solution. Of course, now that the transactions are in there, right, we need to be able to reconcile. You can use all the reconciliation features. The books review will still be there if you want to do client collaboration. And of course, all of the key financial reports that you're going to want to have access to are available. So of course, we've got our balance sheet, our profit and loss, our trial balance. So really the easiest way to think about the reporting is if it's a report that is using transaction level data, that's not going to be available, but all of your key financials are going to be available in the ledger SKU as well. And then last but not least, we're going to be able to prep for taxes. So you'll still have pretty much all of your accountant tools available to you, including the prep for taxes. And so that way you guys can have that seamless transition to your tax filing software. So you see we work with all of our Intuit tax solutions. You can download to Excel. Even if you don't do taxes, this is a great tool to just be able to review and kind of make sure everything is ready before maybe handing off to, your client's CPA as well. So that is really the kind of 5 key components of the ledger SKU, and that I will turn it over to our first polling question. So first polling question for you guys: what type of clients would be best suited for QuickBooks Ledger? So we have after the fact bookkeeping clients, tax only clients, low transaction volume clients, or all of the above.
Just for you folks, just so you know, we do have about 40 seconds before we close this poll out, and then we're gonna, I think we have one more. Crystal, is that right?
Yeah,
one more poll
one
after
more
this?
quick one.
Yeah. And then we'll wrap up for the day. There is a question while we're waiting for the poll. We have a lot of folks asking about downgrading. I know in the FAQ you can upgrade from Ledger to another product, but what about downgrading currently if they're in Essentials and they'd like to go to Ledger?
Currently at this time, there is not a downgrade path. So it'll just be if you start them in this and you need to move up, you'll be able to upgrade, but there won't be an option currently to downgrade if they're already using QuickBooks Online.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Crystal. And what types of clients would be best suited for Ledger? Hopefully most of you guys said all of the above. Are we right, Crystal?
We are. It looks like 81%. So good job, everybody. This is definitely a fit for all of these options. All right, let's do poll question number 2 before we run out of time. Which workflows signal your client may not be the right fit for QuickBooks Ledger? So now we're going the opposite direction. Which of these things might mean you need Simple Start or higher for your client? So we have invoicing, sales receipts or sales tax, ability to manage pay bills, budgeting, or all of the above. Hopefully you're sensing.
That's great. Great question, Crystal, considering we were getting a lot of questions. Well, what if my client needs this, or what if my client needs that? So folks, this is a great opportunity to just take a look. If your clients need any of these options, Ledger might not be the option for you. I think I gave the answer away. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
15 seconds, guys, before we close out our last poll. And I know we're kind of running out on time here, but I appreciate the time you spent with us, Crystal. This is really amazing. I know for those who have mentioned it in the chat, Xero has an option like this. So it's really cool that we're finally competing in this arena.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Leah.
All right. So yes, if your client needs any of these options, they will not be a good fit for the QuickBooks Ledger option. So they will need to either start with Simple Start or higher. Guys, thank you so much. Do we have the last and final resource slide? Beautiful. Thank you. I want to thank you guys so much for spending time with us today. I know we had a lot of information thrown at you. Good news is there will be a recording available for you guys to come back and review if you would like to look at the information that Crystal, Jim, and Yogender has provided for us today. Thank you guys so much all for being here. You have been wonderful. Last and certainly not least, you have resources available for you guys. Please be sure to use those, and we'll see you next month. Have a great holiday and stay safe. Bye, guys.